All right. Today I'd like to talk to you guys a little bit about cyberbullying. Cyberbullying refers to any type of verbal abuse towards another human being via the internet or through texting on mobile phones. In an article I found entitled Cyberbullying and Teen Suicide, Marie Hartwell Walker related the tragic story of a young girl who was only 15 years old, uh, who had had enough of this constant bullying from her peers. She states in her article, "The headline took my breath away. In a town close to mine, a 15-year-old had committed suicide due to cyberbullying. Described as a charming and well-liked young girl, she nonetheless crumbled and crumbled when targeted on the internet by some of her classmates. Death at 15 due to scapegoating by some of the very people she thought were her friends. I ache for her parents. I mourn for her young life. I'm furious that lives are being cut short because those who bully apparently know no limits." Cyberbullying is becoming more and more of a silent killer in our communities. Kids are driven to depression and feel there is no way to escape from the pain and end up taking their own lives to get away from the painful existence of constant bullying from their peers. What kind of life is this for our children? I envision something a little less dreary, but more filled with hope. Um, some statistics that I found while researching on this topic include, according to cyberbullying statistics of iSafe, that they have stated that over 25% of adolescents and teens have been bullied repeatedly through their cell phones over the internet, as well as over half of the young people in their study do not tell their parents when cyberbullying occurs. You may think you know what's happening in your child's life, but when it comes to cyberbullying, we don't know very much. Imagine you are at home by yourself and you receive a text message that only reads, "I'm watching you." You try to ignore it, but more messages come swiftly into your inbox. "Nice outfit you're wearing today. Did you leave the back door open for me? Better check." While freaky as an adult and a little bit nerve wracking, we know the proper way to respond to such a threat, as dangerous possibly as this. But imagine if you were only 12 years old when this happened. You'd be frightened, all alone in your house with no one to protect you. For one little frightened girl, her response was to run away to her friend's house where she got to talk to a responsible adult and they called the police. Um, so frequently, these attacks that we see happen towards our youth, sometimes of the same age or much older and more experienced in the ways of hacking into different systems, taking over social media accounts. It's a scary world out there, and we need to be able to teach our children and protect them against these things and let them know what to do in these situations. Take Harvard County Examiner, for example, with their statistics. They reported that around half of the teens in their study have been victims of cyberbullying, and that 1 in 10 teens tell their parents that they've been a cyberbully victim. Fewer than 1 in 5 cyberbullying incidents are reported to law enforcement, and that means that something can be happening every day and negatively affecting our kids, but we'll only hear a tiny fraction of that. Where's the justice for these kids who have been mentally, hurt? I present the idea to you all to create a harsher punishment for cyberbullying that is equally just for each case. And why do you ask? Because if your child will end up in juvie because they are, taking part in cyberbullying, as a parent, you're going to want to do everything that you possibly can in your power to make sure that they do not end up in juvie. And if that's the consequence for this, I think we'll all see a better response from parents in a lot of different communities, teaching their kids that this is wrong and that there are harsh punishments for it. I'm not speaking of a dictatorship where even the tiniest little joke is punished with a 40 lashes on the back or a life sentence in jail. I'm talking about the kids that are targeted, that are picked on every single day relentlessly by their peers, the ones that are getting depressed and not being able to function like a normal kid should be able to do. We shouldn't have to do this, but it's getting to the point where we need to take action. It's easy to take this topic lightly, obviously. A lot of people think that being bullied in school is just a part of life. You have to grow tougher skin to survive in the real world. And that is partly true. But I believe that there is a point where this has to stop and you cannot rub some dirt on it anymore. You need to be able to draw the line and say this requires punishment for the, intense criticisms and bullyings that happen in our school, online, through text messages. I ask each and every one of you and encourage you that each and every day you find someone that needs your help. Be the adult that they can go to in this situation. A son, a daughter, a nephew, or a friend in your life. Let them know that you care about them. Let them know that these kinds of things have happened to yourself, maybe, or are happening to them, not because of their own fault, but because, yes, it is sadly a part of life, and that they need to stick up to these bullies and to emotionally support them. Let them know that you're happy to listen to them and that they know that you care. My dream is that each and every child will have someone to talk to about these issues, someone to work things out with, and together we can press forward towards a brighter future for everyone.